this is Laura from LiveVisions.com. I am just coming to give you a little video on the moon and the signs, what they mean. And this one is Moon in Cancer. What does it mean to have your moon in Cancer? Well, the moon is your emotions, and the sign that it is in shows how you express those emotions. So, what does it mean to have your moon in Cancer? Well, it means that you're hypersensitive. You're a very sensitive person. You take things very personally, literally. You want to nurture people. You know, you want to let me take care of you. Let me make you feel at home. You know, let me, I think because you go out of your way to make people feel good, you kind of want that back. And when you don't get it back, you're so hurt. You know, you're so like, even you can, emotionally, you can be a little passive aggressive. So when somebody upsets you, you may have a tendency to think about it and just like I can't believe that they did this, and you'd be kind of go into your shell. You know, you could be very, want to be reclusive when you're upset. When you're upset, you kind of probably want to be home. You don't want to be out. You want to be home. You sometimes could be prone to depression a little bit, depending on your chart. But for the most part, when you're upset, you want to be home. You want to think about things. You could become reclusive, you know. I want to also say that sometimes when you're upset, you need to learn to express to the person that upset you what you're upset about. And be direct and say, you know, well, you did this and I'm upset. A lot of times, Moon in Cancer, you won't say nothing, and it's kind of like, well, if they don't know, then they should know. I'm just going to be mad, but they should know what they did, you know. Moon in Cancer can also make you sometimes emotionally manipulative to get your way, okay? And don't get mad at me for saying this. I also have a Moon in Cancer. It's horrible sometimes. And again, it's on the rest of your chart too. Not everybody's the same, okay? But I will say that, you know, like sometimes you think, okay, you know what? I really love this guy. You know, I really want to be with this person. And, you know, I think that maybe if I, you know, were to show up so many times by him that he will, you know, like me. Or maybe, you know, I'm trying to think of an emotional manipulative situation that I could think of, you know, that, you know, it would be almost like you saying, well, if I don't call this guy or girl or partner, if I don't call them back, I'm going to punish them. You know, you're kind of being, instead of talking to them about what's really wrong and avoiding them, you're avoiding them, going into your shell, becoming reclusive, but you secretly really are punishing that person and saying, well, you know what, if they don't know what's wrong, then that's their problem, you know, and you're becoming, instead of being direct and saying what's really wrong. And I'll be honest with you, you know, Moon in Cancer is very hard because you feel so deeply and you're so sensitive and hypersensitive that sometimes you feel what your big thing is, you want to be treated the way you treat others. And when you're not, you're so like devastated and hurt by it. And you become like, you know, I don't even know if I want to be near this other person, you know. And I can speak from personal experience with having this moon. It can be horrible, you know, because, you know, it makes you very, maybe somebody said something to you and they didn't mean it the way you took it, you know, but because we're hypersensitive, we think, oh my God, you know, was she directing that or he directing that toward me? That was so hurtful. Or, you know, maybe somebody said something in passing, you know, like, you know, joking around, you know. You know, I'm 5 feet tall, you know. It could be, and I don't really care about my height, but it could be like somebody saying, oh my God, how does it feel to be vertically challenged, you know? And some Cancer people, Moon in Cancer, may say, you know, that was so rude, you know, oh my God, it's so hurtful. Why would he say something like that, you know? And hypersensitive, when the person was just joking and it didn't probably mean anything, just thought it was funny, but maybe you're sensitive about your height or weight or whatever it is, you know. You could really take things very personal and very literal and become extremely wounded by things. And in relationships, when you're upset, you tend to want to be alone, be home, rest, stay in bed. You know, Moon in Cancer is all about the home, and it's their biggest refuge when they're upset. You know, they feel comfortable being in their security place, and most of the time it's home. So, and when I say that this moon kind of, it can suck, I mean, at least for me sometimes, the hypersensitivity thing can be an issue, you know. I can't tell you, you know, how many times, you know, in a relationship, a person said to me, my God, you're so hypersensitive. Oh my gosh. And I'm thinking to myself, well, do you not hear what you just said? Like, it's so hurtful. Or, you know, I had to learn to kind of have a thicker skin and just say, you know, let it ride, you know, whatever. Otherwise, what are you going to do? Be depressed all the time about something people said? You can't control it, you know. But I will say, and it depends, not all Cancer moons are this way, because there's other things in a chart that can change things a bit. Like if you have your moon conjunct Pluto, you know, it's going to make you a little less emotional. You're not going to totally show. You're going to be sensitive, but you're not going to let people know how sensitive you are. Or if you have your moon conjunct the South Node, in Vedic astrology, it's Ketu. So if you have your moon conjunct, you know, that planet too, you may not show your emotion. You know, you may kind of hold it in, you know. And I have my moon conjunct Ketu, you know, or South Node. And some astrologers say it can make a person crazy or nuts, or, you know, what do you call it? You know, I don't know, they say some crazy. It doesn't mean you're crazy if you have this, but if you hear it from other astrologers saying that if you have your moon conjunct the Rahu or Ketu, or if you have your moon, what do you call it? If you have your moon conjunct the North or the South Node, or the South Node, in my case it would be the South Node, that you could be, you know, anger issues or craziness, you know, that's really not true for everybody. It depends on the rest of your chart. But I will say for me, it makes me maybe more passive aggressive, I guess. Like, I won't tell people how I feel. It's like, you know, if I'm upset and someone says, oh, is something wrong? You know, you may say, oh, I'm good. But you're really pissed and you think, well, they should know why I'm mad because you know what you did last week. you know what you did. Anyway, but that's on me, though. You got to speak up. And I think that having a Cancer moon, we're so, like, I think we're so into being polite and wanting others to treat you the way you want to be treated that we're just so dumbfounded when somebody else doesn't do that. At least, you know, that's what I could say for myself. But I know if you have a Cancer moon, you have to watch out for a few things. You could be prone to depression. You know, a lot of times you don't let things go. When things bother you, you hang on to things too long. You know, and that includes partners too. If you had somebody that broke your heart or really hurt you in some way, you have an issue letting go, if you keep concentrating on your past, it's going to have you, you know, you're never going to get into your future with somebody else that could make you happy. So because they love so deeply too, and they're so sensitive, it's hard for them sometimes to get over breakups. And you know, Cancer is ruled the crab, the claws. So they say if Cancer has their little claws, you know, on you, that they don't want to let go.